Parents failed their sons because while so much pressure is being put on women, nothing was put on their boys. They were and are still coddled. They're not independent, meaning that they're codependent on their parents for multiple things. They also have no sense of leadership.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to a brand new video. You know what to do. Get on Amazon, get that desired nutrition, that pre-workout for that pump, that energy, and that focus. Get that right now. Get about 4 or 5 of those. Let me know what you think. All right, let's get into the video.
The reason why so many beautiful, well-rounded women cannot find a partner is because a lot of parents failed their sons. My mom on a walk had asked me, we know so many beautiful, well-rounded girls. Why are they single? I responded with, your generation was so hard on the girls. Like, we literally had to be made out of glass. We couldn't afford to make mistakes. Failure was not in our vocabulary. Like, we literally had to be perfect. So now you have this large group of women that are almost like overperforming. So now you have this large group of women who know how to take care of a home, know how to take care of themselves, are family oriented, but they also have the ambition of a man and are career focused. Overall, they are performing at standards and expectations that are so high because back home, specifically, my parents are from India. Back home, women weren't granted the same privileges and rights back home in India. So my mom still had me performing the gender norms of a good Indian daughter, but I was encouraged to basically utilize the freedom that I had. Parents failed their sons because while so much pressure is being put on women, nothing was put on their boys. They were and are still coddled. They're not independent, meaning that they're codependent on their parents for multiple things. They also have no sense of leadership. They're consistently relying on a system for guidance and direction instead of building like that inner voice and trying to take initiative to build their life. That's why women are single. Because not only did we have to fight for the life that we wanted, it was completely possible to do that. Though it was hard, it was possible. But there are men that don't want to utilize this opportunity to better themselves and like have dreams and have goals. Instead, they're looking for a partner to be a replacement for their mom. The reason why so many beautiful, well-rounded women.
All right, she's incorrect on so many levels. One of the main thing is it's kind of weird. It's not weird. It's actually kind of normal, but no matter how successful they get, how great of a lifestyle they've created for themselves as women, they still find some way to blame men. She's still blaming men. It's like you can't win. If you're a man, you can't win. Okay? In her eyes, I'm doing so good, I can't find a man that's doing as good as me or better. That's what she's basically saying. There are plenty of men out there for her and other women who want to be in these high-driven careers or earn a lot of money, earn a good living. That is your choice, though. That is a choice that you make as a woman. Stop blaming your parents for creating you to be a woman that knows how to take care of a house and knows how to work a job. It's your choice as a woman to decide, do I want to put my career first or do I want to put a family first? And find a man that puts his career first and obviously takes care, which will take care of his family. Now, we're living in a day and age that I can see that she said that she lives in Canada. They're taking advantages of the freedoms that they have because in India, women don't have that type of freedom. Okay, you're taking advantage of the freedom that you have. That's great. That doesn't mean you have to get into a career field where it's demanding of your time and high earnings or whatever, where it's going to take you away from home. Because what happens is the more money, we've talked about this before, the more money, the more career driven that you become, which is a man's trait. Like she kind of stated in there, that's usually a man's trait to be so driven about these and passionate about his career. You've taken on that role yourself. You did that. And you're trying to blame the parents for, coddling the boys, and not doing anything. I'm guessing you're just saying that that's what happened in your family situation. Maybe no one put pressure on your brother when you were growing up. And the thing is you don't understand what type of pressure men have anyway. You wouldn't understand it. You would not understand it. Not all men, and I would say most men, are not these types of boys who don't have drive or whatever. Because even in my career field, I'm amongst a bunch of men that are career driven. They're all about their goals. They're all about moving up in life. There's also women there too that are doing the same thing. But to say that, women are or men are just being coddled and they're looking for their mom, that's totally not true. But let's break down some of the things that she says.
So many beautiful, well-rounded women cannot find a partner is because a lot of parents failed their sons. My mom.
Okay, if you were well-rounded, if you were a well-rounded woman, like you say, then you would be able to separate yourself from your career and work on having a family. It doesn't seem like you're well-rounded because you can't juggle both of them, like a man has to.
On a walk had asked me, we know so many beautiful, well-rounded girls. Why are they single? I responded with, your generation was so hard on the girls. Like, we literally had to be made out of glass. We couldn't afford to make mistakes. Failure was...
Think about what it's like being a man. Life is so hard on men for their entire life. Their entire life. Our entire lives are hard on us. The world is hard on us. And you're talking about how you grew up and your parents were hard on you to be a woman. Try being a man.
Not in our vocabulary. Like, we literally had to be perfect. So now you have this large group of women that are almost like overperforming. So now you have this large group of women who know how to take care of a home, know how to take care of themselves, are family oriented, but they also have the ambition of a man and are career focused.
You have the ambition of a man. The key words that you're saying, you have the ambition of a man. Men don't like that. Men that have their own ambition, they don't find that attractive. We do not find that attractive. Men are not particularly looking for women that are so career driven and ambitious as them. They're not looking for that. They're looking for a softer side of the lifestyle that they live in. They're looking for that soft, that person that's going to, help with the household, help in areas that he can't do himself or that he doesn't want to do. Be that supportive partner. That's what he's looking for. He's not looking for another fucking boyfriend. That's what you're putting out there, that you're just another man. Dudes don't want other men that are heterosexual. That's what they're not understanding. You're choosing to be this way.
Overall, they are performing at standards and expectations that are so high because back home, specifically, my parents are from India. Back home, women weren't granted the same privileges and rights back home in India. So my mom still had me performing the gender norms of a good Indian daughter, but I was encouraged to basically utilize the freedom that I had. Parents failed.
You were encouraged. Nobody told you you have to do this. Just because you live in Canada or the US, you have to do this. Now, we live in a day and age right now where both parties have to work. Like, somebody has to be bringing income. Like, both people have to be bringing income. Unless you're somebody that's a guy that's a really high earner. And most guys that are really high earners don't want their wives working because they're like, I got it. Don't worry about it. But if you're not that super high earner, both people usually have to work. Not everyone has to be in a career field. A woman could just, she could work a job. She could start her own business. She could do things from home. There's so many careers where they're not so demanding like other careers. You could do that, but you choose not to.
Their sons. Because while so much pressure is being put on women, nothing was put on their boys. They were and are still coddled. They're not independent, meaning that they're codependent on their parents for multiple things. They also have no sense of leadership. They're consistently relying on a system for guidance and direction instead of building like that inner voice and trying to take initiative to build their life. That's why women are single. Because not only did we have to fight for the life that we wanted, it was completely possible to do that. Though it was hard, it was possible. But there are men that don't want to utilize this opportunity to better themselves and like have dreams and have goals. Instead, they're looking for a partner to be a replacement for their mom. Reason why so
yeah, there's plenty of men out there that are looking for that, but they're just not looking for you. That's what it boils down to. They're not looking for you. The high earning guys are looking for softer women. They're not looking for other dudes like you're putting off, that you're this high and this ambitious person, and you're so career driven. You're putting your career in front of your family, and that's how they look at it. That's how we look at it.
When men make money, their pool gets bigger. When women make money, your pool gets smaller. You know, a man that's like very wealthy, has their own business. I've asked them, like, there'd be like a pretty waiter that comes to the table. I'm like, would you date her? Like, and they're like, yeah, I would date the waiter. It's a natural thing for a man to take care and provide. I also want someone that's has these goals and are taking care of themselves and can teach me something, because I'm focusing on, you know, business and success and financials, which is a masculine quality. And so then you start to get smaller and smaller pools. And then there's also not as many men that feel comfortable dating a woman that's very successful, because then it brings up an insecurity within themselves that you don't need them to provide.
I like how women always bring up that it brings up an insecurity. This guy is insecure because you make so much money. It's not that he's insecure. There are things that he doesn't want to do. He just doesn't want to deal with it. He don't want to deal with it. That doesn't mean he's insecure about it. Now, I'm not saying that men don't have insecurities. Men have insecurities just like women do. But what women try to do is they try to put the insecurity thing on men as if men are like women. Women have a lot of insecurity problems, not men. Men are insecure, but not like a woman. So they're trying to push their feelings onto men, or how they think men are. No, just because a woman makes a lot of money, that doesn't mean that he's insecure about his own money. He's probably secure about the money that he makes. It's like, I'm not gonna deal with some chick that makes way more than me, and I have to listen to her, you know, think that she's above me. You know, that's not an insecurity. I just don't want to deal with stuff like that. I'd rather deal with women that are in my area, you know, that are in my type of woman. You know, somebody that's rich and famous is just not my type of woman. I'm not rich and famous. Why would I want a woman that's rich and famous? Now, for a woman, it's the opposite. She's looking for a guy that's rich and famous, even though she's not rich and famous. You get what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be on the same playing field, on the same level. So you need to deal with women that are on your level as a man. Women apparently don't believe in that. You know, they don't want to deal with men that are on their level. They want to deal with men that are above them, which is natural. But some women want to deal with men that are way above them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is natural for a woman to want to be with somebody that's better than her. I get that. But when you're someone who is, you know, you're not offering much as a woman, you don't really know what your own value is, but you want this highly successful man that is just, you know, way out of your league, and you don't even realize it. You need to know what your level is, who's in your league. You need to know that too. And for the women that want to be high earners and they want to be, you know, career driven, just know that that's going to affect your dating. That's going to affect your dating, you know, because men don't typically want a woman that is so career driven. That's all it is. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not really that hard to understand. And the girl from the first video, she thinks that, you know, men are being coddled and they just, you know, their parents failed them, you know, because they get to do whatever they want and they get to be hard on the women. Parents have always been hard, strict, more protective of the women, of the girls. You know, the boys have always been able to, you know, kind of do what they needed to do to be a man, to grow up to be a man. The father's going to be hard on him though. Most likely the father's going to be hard on the boy, but he's probably going to be more strict on the woman. You know, he's going to be more strict on the little girl, She can't be doing the same things that the boys are doing. They don't usually raise them the same way. So because she was raised this way, she thinks that her brother was coddled, or whoever. I'm assuming this is her, that she knows what she's talking about. Maybe she was raised in a household where she had a brother, where her parents coddled her brother. That's what I'm assuming. But because she's trying to say that, you know, all these dudes are like coddled and they just can't do for themselves or some shit. I don't know what she's talking about. I just think that she's completely wrong, and she just can't find a date based on her own personal experience because of what she puts in front of having a family. Nobody wants a masculine woman. You sat there and said that all these traits are masculine traits. You're presenting masculine traits to a masculine man, and he don't want that. Plain and simple. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next video. Peace.